Hello viewers, welcome to part 2 of Introduction to Tally. So in this session, we will discuss about how to select a company, how to load a company, and how to shut a company also. And most importantly, we are going to learn the fundamentals of Tally, which is basically the keyboard shortcut and how easily and quickly we can navigate Tally. So first, I will demonstrate using Tally ERP. So this is what you are seeing on the screen, and later I am going to give you all a very important steps and secret of Tally for you to excel in Tally, and believe me, you will all become an expert of Tally by the end of this session. So very important thing is I'm going to give you 3 steps and 2 important secret as far as Tally ERP is concerned. And again, in Tally Prime, you will again have the 3 steps and 3 important secrets which will make you an expert on Tally. And believe me, this is my word that by end of the session, if you are following these steps and secrets, if you are able to remember this and start using them, you will never need anyone's help for you to comfortably navigate in Tally. So first, let us see how do we select a company. So in the last session, we discussed about the company information and those various options that are available in the company information. Now, before we go into creation of company, this I believe that is very important for us to understand how we can access Tally and easily and quickly navigate Tally. So first, let us select a company, right? So my cursor is there on select company. So I'm going to enter, and this is going to give the folder, whatever folder I have given in the path. It is going to give me the list of company. If I want to change the path, in the last class, I had mentioned that you have to just press backspace and then if you know the folder where your Tally company is there, you can just specify the name of the folder. So I'm going to type here D colon demo data. This is where my company is there. And you will get the list of companies in that folder, and you select the company that you want to open in Tally. So I'm selecting this company called Potential Solutions. I'm entering and I've selected the company. Now, if you notice, the moment I select the company, on the right hand side, on the button bar, you will see a lot of buttons are now made available. So we will discuss about that. So now in the last class, I was talking about the left hand side of your main screen is going to give you the list of company and the information about the company. Now, if you see here, I have selected the company. From the list of company, it says I have selected the company called Potential Solutions, and the current period it is going to specify. So the current period is from 1/4/2020 to 31st March 2021. So which means that any information that I'm going to see for this company right now will be related to this financial year. And also any update or any voucher that I would want to now start creating will be pertaining to this current period. And it also says what is the current date. So the current date is basically the date where you have entered the last voucher. So it says the current date is 20th of July here. And it also says the last date of voucher entry is 20th July. Now, is there could there be a change in the current date and the last date of voucher entry? Yes, there could be. So we will also discuss when there could be a change in your current date and also the last date of voucher entry. This is very important, right? As we advance little further, we will discuss that what is the implication of the current date and the last date of voucher entry. For the time being, just assume that your current date and your last date of voucher entry is 20th of July. Okay. And it also gives the list of companies that you have selected, which you are going to work upon. Okay. Now, on the right hand side, now you have this gateway of Tally, which is going to give you a larger menu options. So again, we will discuss about these menu options a little later. Okay. What we will see now is the keyboard shortcut. So that's the first step for us to understand how can we quickly navigate or access the information that we want to uh, act upon using the keyboard shortcut. Now with Tally like a pro will help you once you understand how do you start using the keyboard shortcut. Okay. So the first keyboard shortcut, so this is the first step that we have to understand. The first keyboard shortcut that you would learn here is the hotkey. Now, I'm sure that many of you would know these shortcuts that I'm going to discuss and show all of you, but just be with me. For people who are freshly or newly coming into Tally, this is going to be very very helpful. Okay, so the first keyboard shortcut that we have to know and understand and recognize is the hotkey. Now, if you see on the right hand side of the menu bar, which is your gateway of Tally, so you have a lot of menus, like there is this, and it is all divided in multiple sections. One is your master section, the other one is your transaction section, then you have utilities and various other sections, right? Now each section has got an menu where you can act upon. And let's say the masters. In masters, you have accounts info and also you have inventory info, right? So currently, we will not be discussing about inventory aspects. We will first complete the basic of accounting, and then we will actually go into the fundamentals of inventory, like the way we saw our fundamentals of accounting. Similarly, we will understand the fundamentals of inventory, and also we will understand the importance of inventory management and how the fundamentals will help all of you to manage your inventory better in Tally. Okay. So now, so you have this menu. And if you notice, my cursor is there on accounts info. The accounts info menu, you will see one character. Okay, because now the accounts info menu is highlighted, you will see this character A, which is in red color. Okay. Similarly, if you just observe the other menus, okay, every menu in a particular word, you have one letter which is in bold. For example, if you see inventory info, you have I, which is bold. Okay. And similarly, when you come down to balance sheet here, if you see the B is an highlighted character here. So for profit and loss account, it is P. So what is this? Now this is the hotkey. So you don't have to, navigate. Supposing, for example, let us assume that I want to go to balance sheet, right? So the normal tendency would be that one is that, yes, definitely you would want to take your mouse and then, you can click here. If I click here on balance sheet, it is going to open the balance sheet. The other way of doing is that you will now go to your cursor and, select the arrow key and you do this down arrow key, right? So now you come to the balance sheet and now you press enter to go into balance sheet, right? Now this, see, by the time you go to balance sheet, you're going to actually, waste 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 are wasted. So instead of that, understanding this keyboard shortcut will help you to work faster with Tally. So if I want to go to balance sheet, very simple. All you need to do is press the hotkey which is B is the hotkey for balance sheet. So all I do is, don't worry where your cursor is there. Don't worry about your mouse. And again, for you to be a power user of Tally, uh, use the mouse lesser and lesser. Even though, I had mentioned earlier, Tally Prime is completely mouse compatible, but still, uh, keyboard is going to be the fastest way of working on Tally. Okay, so now I want to go to balance sheet. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just press B, and now there I am in the balance sheet. Okay, so that's the first key. So I would request, especially people who are getting exposed to Tally for the first time, you just take a sheet of paper and make a note of these keyboard shortcuts. I'm going to show you a couple of more keyboard shortcuts for you to understand, so that you can quickly start navigating in Tally. So the first one is your hotkey, which is every word has got a highlighted letter. That is going to be your hotkey. Okay, one. Number two, if you see here now on the right hand side button bar, right? So you have these buttons, and each button, you can take your mouse and click also. But like I mentioned, like a keyboard shortcut is going to be more faster way of accessing this information, right? So if you see here, now I have this, the first one says select company, right? And just before select company, there is this function key F1. So what is the hotkey in this case? Yes, the hotkey in this case is F1. So on our keyboard, we have this 12 function keys, right? Tally is used these function keys for you to execute that command faster. Okay. So if I want to select a company, I've already selected a company. Let us assume that I want to select another company. And for some reason, I want to, select another company, and then maybe I want to do comparison, or maybe I want to update the voucher in each of the companies. So what I do is, now I'm going to use the hotkey, which is going to be my F1 key. So I'm going to press F1. When I press F1, you will see again the list of companies will be listed in the folder which we have already specified, which is the demo data. Now, in case you want to load a company from some other folder, let's say you have, for example, let us assume that you are working on current year data. For some reason, you want to load your last year company, and you want to see some information uh, for whatever reason. I mean, like I'd mentioned, you want to see that information. So how do I now go and select a different company from a different path? It's very simple. So all you have to do is just press backspace. And I know that there are some companies in my D colon training. And when I enter here, right, so this company is also getting listed here. So I can go and select any company. So let's say I'm just selecting this company. So I enter, and now you see on the left hand side, it is Tally is going to tell you that you have two companies loaded uh, currently. And surprisingly, if you see, we have loaded two companies, but then you are seeing three names, right? So how do we now interpret this information? This is very important, right? So you will see Ganesh Enterprises, which is in bold. And again, this Ganesh Enterprises is repeating, and also potential solution is there. Okay. So the company which is in bold is an indication that this is the current company that is on top of the memory. So this way, in Tally, it is not only that you can access one company or work on one company. You can load any number of companies you want, but at any given point in time, you will be updating the information, or you will be viewing the information which is the current company. Now that is the indication which Tally is going to give you on the left hand side, which says currently Ganesh Enterprises is the company which is on top of the memory. Okay. Now, the next question: how do I now bring potential solutions as my active company? Right. So There are two ways of doing it. One is you have this keyboard shortcut, okay, and also you have you can use the mouse. So if I want to bring potential solution as my active company, all I need to do is just take your mouse here and then click click here, and you will notice that potential solution has become the active company. The other way of changing the company or bringing other company as an active company is on the right hand side. You have this button bar, right, where there is this option called company. Now this company, the keyboard shortcut for this company is, yes, F3, right? So if I press F3, you will see a different listing here. In the earlier one, we saw that all the companies which are saved under the folder of demo data, and then we changed the folder as training. So those companies were listed. Now, in this case, if you notice here, Tally is only going to list those companies which are loaded in the memory of Tally software. So we have selected two companies. So now I want to change company. So now Tally says these are the two companies which are in the memory. Now you tell me which company you want to make it as an active company. So what I do, I want to make Ganeshji as active company. I'm going to click here and enter. Now you will see that Ganeshji Enterprises has become my active company. Okay. So these are your keyboard shortcut one. Okay. So now the next very important information. So you are seeing this F1 select company. Okay, fine. So this is clear. F1. Now again, if you notice here, there is this F1 again, which says shut company. But this F1 has got a single underline, right? So what do we do? So what is the keyboard shortcut that we will be using to activate this option of shut company, right? So the moment you see a single underline for any hotkey, so basically your those function keys are also your hotkey, right? So if you want to execute shut company button, then you will have F1 and single underline. So single underline means Tally says that you use a combination key. What is the combination key? Whenever you see a single underline below a hotkey, then you will use Alt button. Okay, you will hold Alt and then the underlined hotkey. So if I want to shut a company, I'm going to hold Alt key and I'm going to press F1. So let us see what happens if I'm executing this button. So I'm holding Alt key and I'm pressing F1. So now here you see the title here. The title says shut company. So we have loaded two companies in the memory. So Tally is asking me which company you want to shut. Now shutting the company, important thing is that you're not deleting the company. You're only taking away the company from the memory of Tally. So now let's say that I want to shut Ganeshji Enterprises. So I wanted to see some information. I have seen some information. I'm satisfied with the information that I was looking for in the other company. And now I don't need this company anymore, right? I can still keep this company and keep working on my potential solutions also, but I don't want this company anymore. So that is why I have executed this button, which is shut company, by using Alt and F1. So now it's Ganeshji Enterprises is already selected. So all I need to do is just press enter. Now you will see on the left hand side, the name of the company, it says there's only one company which is loaded. And as long as there is one company which is an active company, right? So you don't have the name repeated again. Okay. So this is single underline. So what do we do is, let's come to the top one here. Okay. So now here you see this button, it has got a hotkey which is K. Now this K has got single underline. So we all know now, right? So whenever a hotkey has a single underline, I have to hold Alt and the underline character. Now let us come to the next button. The next button here is basically, again, it says K, but then now it has got double underline. So if it has got double underline, what am I supposed to do? Right? Can you people guess? Right? Okay. Right. Okay. So whenever you see a hotkey which has got double underline, then you will hold your control key and the hotkey. Right. So now you will get this. For example, I want to go to control center. We will discuss about all this control center, what we can do in control center and all at a later point in time. Right. So we're only just trying to understand how to execute hotkey in Tally. So now I have K with double underline. So I'm going to hold my control key and then I'm going to press K, and now it is executed. Some information is coming. So we will discuss this little later. Okay. So similarly, we have this yes, which has got double underline. So that means I have to use control key. Now quickly, it is important that we have to make a note of this, right? So what are the hotkeys that we learned now? If you see, first is that every menu, like for example, we had a menu which says balance sheet, right? And this in balance sheet, B was bold. So B is my hotkey. Okay. So that's the first one. The second one, right? So you have a hotkey, like for example, function key is also an hotkey, or you will also have any alphabet as an hotkey. So what we saw is that, we saw one hotkey, a function hotkey, which was F1, which said that select company. Okay. So now this is just F1. So whenever you see a function key like this, okay, so you will use your function key. Okay, F1 function key you will use. The third one we saw is that we again had a function key which is F1, but this time this function key had a single underline. And this function, what is the function of this F1 with single underline? If you want to shut a company, you can use this keyboard combination. So whenever you see a function key with a single underline, then you are going to use Alt plus the underline character, which is F1. So supposing, let us say you have a hotkey as K, and if it has got a single underline, you will use Alt plus K. Okay. And we saw there was another hotkey, which is again K with double underline. So whenever you see a hotkey with double underline, then you will use Control plus the underlined character. Okay, just single, just the hotkey here is just the Alt plus the underline and Control plus the underline. Okay, so this again is going to be very helpful if you remember this, that single underline, double underline, where you will use the Alt and the Control key, right? Now, so this is basically about your keyboard shortcut. The second step is, again, it is very, very easy, very simple, logical, and many of you are familiar with this, right? So whenever you want to move forward, like for example, when I want to go to the next level of information, or when I want to do some action, right? So what am I going to do is that I want to view the balance sheet. So what am I doing? I'm selecting the balance sheet and I'm going to press enter. So, so the second step that you have to remember is that when you want to move forward or when you want to go to the next level in Tally, you will press enter. Okay. So when I enter, it takes me into that particular menu. So I entered balance sheet and now I am in the balance sheet report, right? Now I can use my cursor or my arrow keys on my keyboard, and let's say I want to go to my current asset. Okay, so I'm seeing my current asset and it has got some value there, and we know, we have studied in our fundamentals of accounting, the balance sheet, the components of current asset. We know that under current asset there are a lot of other asset which are classified as part of my current asset, like for example my cash, my bank, my stocks, my sundry debtors. So now I want to get into the detail of current asset and see what constitutes my current asset. Okay. So what I do, I now my cursor is there on my current asset, and now I want to go to the next level of information. So what I do, I press enter, and then it takes me to the next level. That means it goes down into my current asset, and it is giving me the list of the other information which are available in my current asset. Okay, so this is the next level of detailing. So now I see this information, but then I see my sundry debtors is got 19 lakh 27,932 rupees. Now I want to know uh, how many parties amount is pending, right? So what I do, I select my sundry debtors, and then I press enter, and now it is giving me the list of my sundry debtors, and for each of my sundry debtors it is giving me the amount which is outstanding, right? So now I go through this information. Now I'm just looking here that one party, which is Olive IT Solutions, has got a balance of 6,47,998. Now I am inquisitive to know, um, what I mean, like, what is my transaction? So why this amount, and what is the detail of this amount that is pending? So what I do now, again, I bring my cursor down to the party name, and I press enter, and now Tally is going to give me a list of the monthly transactions. Okay, all my monthly transaction it gives. And in this particular party's account, if you notice, there is only one transaction that has happened in the month of July. Okay, so now I pressed enter from balance sheet into current asset, and from there I went into sundry debtors, and from sundry debtors I selected a party. The party, now it is giving me the detail of my monthly balances, right? So now if I want to see the detail of my transaction, what am I going to do? I have selected the month where the value is there, and I'm going to again press enter. Okay, now this is giving me the list of all the vouchers for that particular month, right? So in this case, there are two sales invoice that has happened, that has been created for in the month of July, right? So now let's say there is this sales voucher number 15, which is to the value of 4,33,000 and odd. So now I want to see the detail, right? So can I see the detail? Yes, you can see the detail. So what you do, you again bring your cursor down and press enter, right? It will now take you to the voucher. Okay. Where did we start? We started in the balance sheet. So balance sheet, if you see, is the highest or the topmost report of your financial statement, right? So from there, we selected a particular account, and then we pressed enter, which is basically a drill down. We call it as drill down in Tally. So you drill down into you drill down the current asset, came into the detail of current asset, you have selected sundry debtors, and then you have now come to the particular voucher. Now, this is basically called as the leaf level, or we call this as the origin of your information, right? So by capturing the sales information, right? So it is now reflecting in your balance sheet in the appropriate section of your balance sheet. Now, this is where our fundamentals of accounting, where we understood the components of balance sheet, would really help us to comprehend better. Okay, so this is my origin or the last. So, okay, I pressed enter, 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 and I've come to the last level or my leaf level. Now, I want to go to balance sheet, right? How do I go to balance sheet? Yes, very simple, right? So now for me to go back, okay, all I'm going to do is that I'm going to press escape, right? I am in my voucher listing. Another escape is going to give me my monthly summary. Another escape is going to give me the detail of my sundry debtors. Another escape is going to give me the detail of my current asset. And another escape is going to bring me to the origin of my report, where I actually started, right? So the second step for us to remember to comfortably navigate in Tally is that if you want to drill down, or if you want to go to the next level of information, select that particular account, or select the particular line, and press enter. Okay, so you press enter, 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 and then you go down to the origin of your information, that is your voucher. Okay. In the upcoming session, we will also discuss about the vouchers and different types of vouchers and all the other things. Okay. Now, for you to come back, you will press escape, right? So every time escape will bring you. Now, when I press escape again here, it is going to bring me to the gateway of Tally. Now, this is the home screen. And many times you will see me repeating this statement saying that let's come back to gateway of Tally. So whenever I make the statement of let's come back to the gateway of Tally, you will this is your starting screen for the company. Okay, once you have selected the company, this is the home screen for your company. Okay, so quickly, again, this is important, that is why I'm repeating. So quickly, keyboard shortcut one is the hotkey. Use the hotkey in the menu. And then we also know whenever a hotkey has a single underline, you will use alt plus the underline character. Whenever you see a double underline, you will use control plus the underline character. And for you to move forward, press enter to move forward. For you to come back, press escape to come back. Okay. So this is the three step that we were discussing, right? And now I am going to give you two very important secret, right? If you remember this secret, believe me, you will be surprised that you are able to comfortably navigate Tally and get the information that you are looking for without anybody's help, like a pro, right? So what are the two important secret, right? Now, I had mentioned about the button bar, right? So one is this button bar on top, which is the static button bar. We really don't have to worry about this because in every screen, we are going to get this button. So you can always see this, right? And the most important, so our first secret one for comfortable navigation is the right-hand side button bar. So whenever you want to do something, right? And if you are not able to see that information, or if you don't know how to get that information that you are looking for, then use your secret number one. The secret number one is your right hand side button bar. Okay. So for example, let us say that, let me just quickly just demonstrate and show you that how the right hand side button bar is going to help you. Okay. One is that we did this select company, right? So for example, let's say you wanted to select another company. Right now you don't know, right? So now you are going to use your secret number one, which is your right hand side button bar, and see what you want, whether any button is available for you to get that information what you are looking for. So now we saw earlier, to select any other company from the same folder or from any other folder, you use your hotkey, which is your function key, which is your F1. And if you want to shut the company, we have seen that you use alt F1 to shut the company, right? And this is where you and this right hand side button bar is a dynamic button bar. So what do we understand by dynamic button bar? Now these buttons are not going to be constant, unlike the buttons that are there on top of the main screen. Okay, now these buttons bar are context sensitive, which means that depending on the main screen that you are in, right? So buttons on the right will have an associated actionable buttons, which will help you to get the information that you are looking for. For example, let us see now in the gateway of Tally, right? So where we have this all actionable menus of creation of master, voucher entry, and reporting, you have these buttons. Okay, various buttons are there: select company, shut company. These are all broadly, if you see, a common thing or a general aspect of it. So you will see this date. If you want to change the date, so what do I do? If I want to change the date, I just press F2 to change the date. If I want to change the period, I'm going to again use, notice there F2 is for changing the date. And now again you have F2, which has got a single underline. That means you're going to use Alt F2, right? So this is the button. Now let's quickly go to balance sheet. My cursor is already there on balance sheet. I just press B, and now you see here on the right hand side, the buttons have changed, right? So you are now seeing so many a different button. right? So for example, you have a detailed period valuation, then you have something, if you come down you have new column, alter column. So all this we will see this later. But currently what I would want at the beginning, for especially for people who are getting first time, seeing Tally and want to comfortably work with Tally, the secret number one is that whatever you want to do, just if you don't know how to access that information, or if you don't know how to act upon that, you have to look into your secret number one, which is your right hand side button bar. Okay, now you have secret number two. Okay, now secret number two is that you are looking for some information, right? Now let's quickly demonstrate this. Let's say I have the stock summary, and I have all my items here. My stock summary is now giving me, by default it is going to give me my closing stock. Okay, now I want to see, for example, I want to see uh, opening stock, what is the inward quantities, what are my outward quantities, and how did I arrive at this closing balance or the closing stock, right? So now I told you two secrets. Secret number one is the right hand side button bar. So let's see on the right hand side button bar and see, is there any button which says show me opening, inward, outward, and closing? So I you look here. Now the button does not have this feature, so I am stuck. How do I get this information, right? Now you are going to use your secret number two. What is that secret number two? Your secret number two is, on the button bar you will find a very very powerful button, which is your F12 configure. Please make a note of this. Okay, so your secret number two is your F12 configure. So F12 configure. So that means I'm seeing a report, but I want to configure this report with some other information or some additional information, right? So in that situation, I'm going to now press F12, or I'm going to take my mouse and click F12 configuration. Now this configuration again are predefined configuration related to the main report that you are viewing, right? So these configurations will be associated with the report. So you have to now see what you are looking for. Are you now going to get that information from this configure, and can you configure that and then get the information that you are looking for? So in our example, I wanted to see my opening balance, inward, and my outward information. So what I do, I just go through this list of configuration. Now, again, this configuration is a dynamic configuration, which means what you are seeing here is related to this particular report. The report is basically our stock summary report. You go to balance sheet, you will, in every screen of Tally, you will see this F12 configuration, which is your secret number two. While creating voucher, while creating a master, while viewing the report. These are the three major activities that we are going to do in Tally. So now let's see. Show quantity, yes, it is already yes. Show rate, it is already showing me in my closing balance. Okay, show value, I have seen this. But then I want to now see opening balance, yes, enter. Goods inward, yes, enter. Goods outward, yes. Now again, you don't have to waste time. See, a lot of time saving techniques have been built inside Tally. So if you want to make this option as yes, so you really don't have to waste 3 seconds in typing yes. So just press Y for S, and for no, yes, obviously it is N, right? So now goods outward, I'm going to just press Y, and I'm just pressing enter. Okay. So now closing balance, it is already yes. Now the next keyboard shortcut I'm going to tell all of you now. Now after this, if you see, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 options are there. So which means for me to, close this configuration screen after saving whatever is the option that I have enabled, I have to press 14 times enter, right? So again, Tally says, no, your time is very precious. You don't have to press 14 times and waste your 14 seconds. Tally says, I have a keyboard shortcut for you to accept the screen after whatever changes you have done at the whatever level. So I have now done the changes at the top level. I don't want to do any changes, or I don't want to enable any other configuration. So what I do is that there is this keyboard shortcut called Control A. Control A will accept your screen after saving the changes that you have made, and it will save the configuration. So I press Control A. So Control A is your first keyboard shortcut. There are a lot of keyboard shortcuts. So this is where I had mentioned, take a sheet of paper and then, keep noting down these keyboard shortcuts. And you see here, now I am seeing my opening balance, I am seeing my inward, I am seeing my outward, and I am seeing my closing balance. Okay. So two secrets. Three steps, two secrets. Step number one, recognize the hotkey. And we also now know how to recognize the hotkey. Every menu has got a single character which is highlighted. That is the hotkey. And you will also have hotkey, which is a function key. And any hotkey which has got a single underline, you will use Alt plus the underlined character, double underline, control plus underline character. Okay. And that's your first step. Step number two is for you to drill down or move forward, you press enter, keep entering and move forward. And for you to come back, you are going to press escape, 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 right? And the third aspect, the most important aspect, is your two secrets, right? So your secret number one is your right hand side button bar. And what you want to get, if you're not able to get that information or the action in on the right hand side button bar, you have your secret number two, which is your F12 configuration. You press F12 configuration, you have this configuration, predefined configuration, which is going to basically allow you to configure this information with additional information or detail. Okay. So that's about your, the keyboard shortcut. And the most important thing is your two secrets, right? So now I've selected, we have also seen how to shut the company, right? So again, if you see on the right hand side button bar, you have the Alt F1, which is your shut company. So if I want to shut this company, I'm going to press Alt F1, and the company is now closed. It is shut, it is not deleted. And now we are back in the company information, right? Now this whole thing that we had discussed about in this Tally ERP9 will remain same in Prime also. But one very important change that has happened in the Prime is that you will have all those things. Like for example, now let us say I'm going to select a company, right? So in the last class we saw how to select company and how easy and simple it is for me to select the company, right? So now this screen itself will act as a Windows Explorer for me. Now I want to go to my demo data. If you see, my default path, data path here is d:\data. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say select from drive, okay? Because I don't know what is the name of the thing, and I want to just browse here and then select it. So I say select from drive, enter, and I know it is in my D drive. Okay, I enter, it is going to give me my list of all the companies. Now I can use this mouse, scroll down, right? Or I can, there is the select company is there. I can just type the name of the folder from here. So let's say I'm going to say demo, see, and it automatically, like filters out based on the letters that you're typing. So I know that yes, in demo data, my company is there. So I'm going to select, and it is going to give me the list of all the companies. So like I selected this company called Potential Solutions in Tally ERP9. I'm going to select this here, the same company, Potential Solutions, right? And then now it says, do you want to migrate, right? So because now this is in my uh, ERP9, right? So first time when you're loading a company in Tally Prime, it will ask you, do you want to migrate, right? And if you want to take a backup, now you will see this here. It says backup before migration. It is yes here. Then backup destination path. By default, this is my path which has been specified. I will also show you at a later point in time how you can go and set all these default folders in Tally itself, so that every time you don't have to keep changing it. Okay. If you want to change it, now here is the configuration where you can go and change this. All this we will see at a later point in time. So quickly, let us see how we can migrate this. Very simple. I just come here and then I click here, or I press R, and then Tally is going to migrate. It is going to ask, because I've said I want to back up, right? I've already backed up earlier, so I'm saying no, or you, in your case, you're going to back up here. Okay. So let me just back up, and now the company is opened. So if you see here, again, if you see, the left hand side is going to give you the same information what we saw there. So I will not repeat it. So you will see this here. Again, on the right hand side, you will see the menu, but there is slight change in the menu. When we come to the discussion of the gateway of Tally menu, we will do that later. So similarly, you will have the same thing, right? So you have this hotkey for import O single underline. So now we know I have to press Alt O, right? So for print P single underline, I know I have to press Alt P. So similarly, you have this F2, which is my hotkey, F3, which is my hotkey, right? So here again, okay, you will have, in case of Tally Prime, you will have three secrets, okay? So secret number one will remain the same thing. Your right hand side button bar, what you want to do, look on the right hand side button bar. If you're not getting what you are looking for in your secret number one, then you will use your F12 configuration secret number two. So currently the F12 configuration is not here, but then when you go into the report, for example, I go to my balance sheet. When I go to my balance sheet, more or less, you will see the same buttons on the right hand side. There are some more additional buttons which are there here. We will discuss that when we come to the right section, right? So now you have this F12 configuration at the bottom of the screen, right? So secret number one, right hand side button bar, secret number two, even in Prime, your F12 configuration, and the most important secret, additional secret, secret number three, and especially for Tally Prime, the secret number three, I have coined this secret as Brahmastar, right? So any information that you're looking for, right? So one, two, and the third important secret, your Brahmastar, is go to, right? We will discuss about this go to, and this is the most powerful feature, or the major feature that has been brought in Tally Prime. Okay. So three secrets in Tally Prime: right hand side button bar, F12 configuration, and go to. Okay. So in the next session, we will discuss about the gateway of Tally menu, right? So we will see what changes have happened in the listing of the menu in Tally Prime versus Tally ERP9. So we will see what are those menu and what can we do with those menus, right? And what changes have happened in Tally Prime is what we will see in our next session, right? So I hope this would have given you more clarity on how easily you can navigate. So we have seen those three steps and two secrets in Tally ERP9, three steps and three secrets in Tally Prime. Again, in Tally Prime, it is the same thing. To move forward, drill down, enter, 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 escape, escape, escape to come back. And it's the same combination, hotkey combination, single underline, double underline. Right. So, so we will see in the next session about these menus, and I hope this would have given you, especially for people who are new to Tally, would be a great help for you to see how quickly you can navigate. So thank you all once again for staying till the end, and if you have not subscribed, kindly subscribe, and kindly share with your friends and colleagues so that they can benefit out of this. And see you all until the next session. Thank you very much.